Hello everybody, the content creator here, and this is going to be my review of the Steam controller. Now, this is basically Valve's attempt at coming up with a console level controller to give you that, sitting on the couch experience if you're a PC gamer, as we've all been struggling with that for years. How do we find the middle ground? Well, this is Valve's take on the classic controller that we all know, with the face buttons, the two joysticks, D-pad, trigger buttons, all that stuff. But they've taken their own unique take on it. Now, the first thing you notice when you look at this controller is you see these two pads here that kind of make it look like a surprised owl staring at you. This is their take on the D-pad and the right analog stick. But instead of your typical stick, like on the Xbox 360 controller where you got like two of these, you're just going to have one typical joystick, which feels, it's pretty good. It's like your standard 360 controller. But it comes with the circular mouse pad that you can use to move around the camera, depending on what game you're playing. It's surprisingly very accurate, and you can actually customize it to the exact sensitivity and the exact feel that you want. So that's pretty good. I'm going to take you around on the controller. So you got your face buttons, A, B, X, Y, very standard. You got your start and select buttons and your home button right here in the middle. Give you a better focus on it. You got your left analog stick, which more than likely move your character itself. And you got right over here, just get the camera here for you. We got your standard D-pad, up, down, left, right. Nothing new about that. And right back here, you actually have two triggers. Left trigger, right trigger, left bumper, right bumper. In the middle, you have the USB port for the computer. And on the back here, you actually have two triggers on the back that you can use to map out whatever you like. Typically, I find that if you have alternate functionality on the D-pad, you can, in theory, hold one of these buttons and change whatever functions your D-pad do. I'll get into more detail with that when I actually do the OS review of the Steam controller. This is just more or less to show you what the controller actually is on a physical level. The first time you actually use this controller, it feels like you're using an Xbox 360 controller that's very familiar to you, but you don't know how to use it. It's really odd to use at first, but over time you do get used to it. At least I found I certainly did. The face buttons are a little bit lower than your standard Xbox 360 controller, so it's definitely weird because you expect them to be more up here, maybe in this spot, but they're all the way down here. And it's quite the difference, and sometimes there are some mispresses of buttons. But overall, with a little bit of time and effort, this Steam controller could very well be the best controller you've used for your PC gaming. At least for me it was. Now, you have different functionalities with the controller. Obviously, when you can push this home button to activate it. But the cool thing about it is it actually has functionalities where you can actually customize the noise that it makes when it shuts off. Let's see if I can do it here for you. So I've chosen that kind of sound to play when it turns on, and then I'm going to hold it for 6 seconds like a computer just to shut it off. Hopefully you can hear that in the camera. But yeah, I kind of like that functionality. It doesn't serve any major purpose. It's just some more customization and personalization, which is always nice in a controller. It does have this matte glossy finish here in the front, which definitely shows up fingerprints. I don't know if you can see mine here. Yeah, kind of. And then it has more of a coated kind of texture to it, which doesn't really show up fingerprints, but has a nice little glistening shine to it. I don't know how important that is to you, but it is there. Yeah, and that's pretty much my overall view of the Steam controller. I think it's a great controller. Definitely worth your time and money if you're looking for a custom experience. It'll retail at about $50, and it comes packaged with a dongle and a USB port and a and a USB cable. I will show you those in my next video of this review. But this is just the overall controller itself. Oh, and one last thing I will show you, do this with one hand, is there's a little switch at the bottom here, and if you just push that, it actually exposes this little flap here. Just put that there. And your batteries actually go in here, 2 AA batteries, which come included with the Steam controller when you buy it. They included Duracells for mine, which is nice. A lot of companies do tend to go with the cheaper alternative. Make sure, no, I'm not doing that right at all. And it clicks in pretty easily, so there's no effort here. I was able to do it with one hand while holding my iPhone here filming this. So the triggers do feel there is some give to them. You do have to kind of, really put some oomph into it in order to, get them to respond the way you like. But overall, they work very well. Anyway, this is my quick review of the Steam controller, and I'll be back with a second video to do the OS review. Thank you, and have a good day.